Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise. I'm Biola Alabi, and with me is Tundu Abiola. Before we went on break, we reported that Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, had received a visa from the United States. So contrary to media reports, we're reporting that he has not received a visa. Arise News is confirming that. He is back from London and will continue his campaign. He has not received a visa again. We report and we apologize for that mistake. Thank you very much. And now on to our guest.
Welcome. We have with us Segun Aka-Bashorun, the former vice chairman of Koshofe local government area of Lagos State, a ranking member of the All Progressives Congress in the state. Aka-Bashorun is also a public affairs commentator who has carved out an image of a revolutionary within his own party. Aka-Bashorun has also identified with a group within the Lagos State All Progressives Congress, which has been kicking against what it sees as the undue dominance and subjection of the party structure to the whims and caprices of the self-acclaimed national leader of APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We are now joined by Segun Aka-Bashorun, who will be looking at the crisis currently rocking the party, even as campaigns intensify towards the 2019 general election. Mr. Aka-Bashorun, welcome.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you and welcome back.
It's a pleasure coming back, absolutely.
So you are a self-proclaimed revolutionary within your party.
I listened and it's well.
What does that mean when you're at a party and you have a contrary view?
It's not easy being a minority, and but there's a lot of joy and what I would call. For me, I love being the underdog, and I appreciate that the things many people find unattractive, I tend to get gravitated towards that. So I like the idea that somebody has to tell the truth, somebody has to be the conscience of what is right and what is just, regardless of the pitfalls or what people call pitfalls, assumed to be pitfalls that you will not be embraced by the so-called godfathers. You will not have all of those attractions of or goodies, political goodies of offices, appointments, contracts. And it's unfortunate that people think having all of those things really enhances your happiness. It doesn't. And the happiness actually lies within. It's beyond all of those properties. And so I'm contented. I'm very happy being in that position.
So from a public view, and so from some of the conversations we've had with you, with other people in APC, there's currently a crisis rocking the party.
Absolutely.
It is a public crisis. How is this going to be resolved, in your opinion?
I don't see a solution anytime soon. I'm really taken aback. I'm almost... it's hard for me to participate in the process because I've lost trust in the process. I don't see a direction for the good of Nigerians. I think everything that's been done is for the good of the leadership. And the kind of leadership we have in our party is what you would call the master leadership. I was expecting that my party would be the one to usher in the exemplary attributes of a servant leadership.
Explain the difference between the two so people at home understand you.
Well, of course, a servant leadership comes in to serve you. Absolutely. The populace makes decisions as to what that servant leader is to do. You know, they've given him an itinerary of what is the priorities of their needs. And the servant leader, to the letter, follows that through. Because that is his loyalty is to the interests of the people. A master leadership, on the contrary, which is what we have in Nigeria today, is that they are coming in to entrench themselves to be the masters of, they don't see themselves as servants, they see themselves as endowed to lead. And it came from, it's a drawback, I would say it's part of those spillovers from colonialism, because you see this...
Or do you think it's a leftover from military?
Well, we always say military, but military's got the same behavior, and it's a leftover from the post-colonial syndrome that we have, that is the same way with the slave master or the house slave, the behavior of the house slave. So the minute they got the power, they started exercising the power in the same mirroring the way the colonial masters had enslaved and treated their people. So they do the same thing. And they see themselves, especially coming from this part of the world where we have this, monarchy in the past, and we have obas, we have kings and obis and emirs and stuff like that. So it's so easy for us to fall into that pitfall. There's nobody that wants to serve. Everybody wants to be a master. So what you see today is a competition between those who is to be the best master leader for Nigeria. And Nigeria, we're going to be taken aback, because when you have a master leadership, what it does, especially in a process, they encourage these processes that will only entrench those master leadership, or should I call them those strong men of Nigeria, because we have very weak societies today, and they are the cause of that weak society. We're not finding ways to integrate Nigerians. We are being disintegrated, and everybody is having their leanings, either religious, geographical leanings, and they are carving those niches for themselves, and they're carving those fiefdoms for themselves, because they have all the resources to pay and direct the people what they ought to do. So you see, the master leadership will come tomorrow and say, I need 2 million people to come and vote for me. He has the resources to pay them. He knows how much they will charge per each. And that is why we have today of all the, what you call moving forward democratically, we're now taking a step forward and we're taking 2 steps backward. Because now today in Nigeria, under the leadership of my party, we have a new phenomenon of why public vote buying. So right there at the point where you're going to vote, people are there with money, and they are negotiating that 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, line up, we see you vote, you get your balance, you give you a deposit. So we have gotten to that level, and this is what master leadership has created for Nigeria. That is what all the police, so it's so hard for me to make choices. Nigeria is not going anywhere. We're moving in the same cycle, and there's no direction as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to vote because I'm going to say because I'm APC. No, I'm more interested in Nigeria than APC. My loyalty is to Nigeria first. APC comes secondary. So I am not happy. I'm completely disappointed with the kind of change APC, my party, have brought to Nigeria, and I expected more, and I'm not seeing a clear vision of where we're going to go tomorrow.
Wow, thank you. So
in this fiefdom that you've described, do you feel that you and your group, including yourself, Fuad, okay, people like you, do you feel you've been squeezed out of the structure?
Well, they're trying to squeeze us out, and it's not going to be possible because we have many cases in court that we are challenging the fundamental issues that we've challenged legally, and we know they are, people have told me, this is Nigeria, Mr. Aka-Bashorun. You're not going to get any justice in court. Well, we ought to test the system and push the system to the limit to make sure it works. Yes, people may have resources to usurp the system, but we ought to try. And we need to be that, the shining light, because all hope should not be lost. People should have faith in certain, a few good men. You don't need so many, you just need a few good men. So a few of us are saying that we need to stand tall and stay focused on the cause. The cause is that we have to force our party to be fair. We have to force our party to have structures that are not brazenly biased. Because what we are seeing from the leadership of the party is amazing. It's beyond what we expected so many years after this Fourth Republic. I mean, people have said the PDP destroyed Nigeria in the last 16 years of their rule, and now we have change. And the change we ought to have brought, we should have shown something far better. And it seems it's just a change of guards, and that's what we keep seeing in Nigeria.
So APC came into power on the platform of change, security, and anti-corruption. How do you feel they have delivered on that? Starting with change, because you started talking about change.
Well, the change was never defined. And I told the party, I remembered when this whole issue of change came up. I remembered we were putting together a group called Crusaders for Good Change. And within the same year, the whole issue of change with APC using the same slogan, all of a sudden people started change. And I challenged. When you make changes is three-dimensional. You can either change progressively, you can either retrogress, or you can change to become the same thing. And I said, if you're going to progress, if you're going to have progressive change, it has to be practically defined. You'll be able to see what you need to do to move from step A to step B. I mean, and the other changes really don't need to have a plan. You know, it's a gamble, just take chances. And that's what we're doing. And so I asked the question, what is the plan? How do you ensure that this changes? Because telling people change, it's so parochial. I mean, the way the campaign was about change, that we just needed to change. Change exactly to what, from what to what.
But it goes to show you how starved people are.
Exactly.
Because just hearing change...
With no specifics.
Yes.
So that's the yearning, and that yearning subsists till today. People are looking for that kind of change. People are, they feel that, I mean, I've been speaking to people and people are completely confused. They don't even know what to expect in this election.
What about anti-corruption and security?
Oh, please, we shouldn't be talking about that. It's so obvious, nothing has really, there's been on it.
So your party has not delivered?
Oh, absolutely not delivered. They haven't. I've said it publicly. I would tell the president if I meet him in person, Mr. President, I have my disappointments, and I can give you, for free, I'll give you advice, what you ought to do. And I see certain things, there's a consistency that I keep saying that I see in my party, and in the practice of the leadership of my party.
Has your party delivered for Lagos?
Oh, no, they haven't. And I would say they haven't because, so to speak, people keep talking about the blueprint. I don't know who gave the blueprint for Lagos, but they talk about there's a blueprint for Lagos. I don't understand what that means. I mean, what
But you're a member of the party. How can you say you don't know what that means? We're here. What are we supposed to say?
Yeah, but that's the funny thing. You find party members who said, oh, Lagos has a blueprint. From where? From who? When? There's no definition.
But do you ask your party leader,
I do,
where is
of
this
course.
blueprint?
I ask them, what is the blueprint? The blueprint of bringing mediocres, people of credible reputation to lead us, because that's what we have in Lagos today. Look at the process we had in our own party primaries in Lagos. Just terrible. Till today, nobody have said a word. That a referee will come, a referee will make public announcement that I have not started the process that I was sent here to do. I've not even distributed the ballot papers. As a matter of fact, the processes that I had that some people were carrying out is against the process we were meant to carry out, which is option, secret open ballot. Not option A4, not the one that you're lying on behind. No. That we distance ourselves from this process. All of a sudden, the party chairman intervened, gave a commanding order, and immediately the same referee is now upturned and announced the results that somebody else is conducted. And up to today, nothing has happened. The governor was pushed out.
How can citizens vote for your party?
Well, I will tell you this.
I'm sorry. I don't know where even to go. How can people vote for your party?
I'm going to tell, I don't want to create the kind of apathy, because personally, I'm going to abstain from the process. I have said that.
But can I ask you, why of all your options is that the one you've chosen? You're choosing abstinence from the process, you're choosing legal recourse. Yes. Why not choose to leave the party? You have relationships with other parties. Labour Party, you've worked with Labour Party, you've worked with PDP.
Relationship with all the
why
parties,
not decamp?
You see, the reason why I'm not decamping, I'm being very careful. You know, I left my party, I was in ACN, and I left to PDP at one time. Well, before PDP, I went to Labour and then PDP. And one of the things I found out, I didn't go there to contest. I went there to support certain individuals that believe were better for Nigerians or better for Lagosians. That in the name of Jimmy Agbaje, specifically speaking, I like Jimmy Agbaje. I see a sincerity that this is kind of Lagosian that should put forward. Sincere, honest, has a good plan. But what is unfortunate, what I saw, is there's this issue of this party or that party. We tend to forget that Nigeria is the first interest. So we should choose people across party lines because of the kind of character, the reliability that that they are more dependable than other candidates. So that's kind of politics we ought to be playing, but we don't do that today. We have this loyalty to the party that we have to be blind. We have to be blind in decision making, and this is the mediocre of what the political party and the process has allowed Nigerians. So people will now see you as, if you jump ship, they see you as, well, I said I've been careful because I don't want to be seen as somebody who is just so angry that is so much after Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And anywhere Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, I want to be on the opposing end. That may be true, but that is not completely true. I see Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a major problem to the progress of Nigeria. He has allowed the political process that we all fought for, died for, what June 12 was about, what many people, great Nigerians, sacrificed their lives for. This was not the outcome we expected. We wanted an outcome in which Nigeria will be great, that the children of a nobody, the children of an ordinary, hard-working fufu seller can be a medical doctor tomorrow, can be a governor tomorrow. That was the future. Those leaders that died yesterday's, the Awolos, the Abiolas, there's so many people that have sacrificed their life in ensuring that at least Nigerians will have the opportunity, or the greater numbers of Nigerians will have the opportunity to participate in a democratic process and make decisions for themselves that will progress, that will bring progress for their future. And that is what people expected. But unfortunately, the kind of politics that we are practicing, I see that the leadership that we believed would take us to that path that those heroes have sacrificed for. That path is we now see today the leadership, specifically the leadership in Lagos, that I believed would, and I told so many people that I knew that knows the same leadership, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you are taking Lagos backwards. And invariably you are taking Nigeria way, way backwards. Because Nigeria and Lagos is the base setter for Nigeria, especially in many areas. You know, what is so funny today? We have young kids who are now kidnapping to kill rituals for money in Lagos. I can even tell you that Lagos is a hotbed for that than many other states.
So going back to...
And I'll tell you with the reasons for that is they all want to be rich. Either like Davido or like Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A man that can spend effortlessly without looking back. And that is not the kind of leadership, the kind of future we want our children to look up to.
All right, so quickly, your group, there is a group within APC Lagos that is trying to...
Well, I won't say it's a group. We formed the parallel.
There are a few good men, as you call
exactly.
yourselves.
We formed the parallel, and we challenged the process which my party had taken. The processes that they had tried to authenticate as the right, I mean, as what...
I don't want us to go too far because you didn't really answer Tundun's question around why is abstinence the reason why not. I'm getting to, you're abstaining. There seems to be a group of you within APC that also think they have the same thought process. Yeah. Why can't you be part of the process but as an independent at this time? Why must it be abstaining? It seems a bit extreme since you do have a voice. You're here, so you can speak up. Why can't you and these few... Well, I would hate to only think it's good men. I would hope you have some good women with you.
Exactly, absolutely. Okay. What you see is it's too late. For me, personally, it is too late for me to make changes, especially when people have made up their mind that they will usurp the system and you can go to bits. Because that is what Oshiomhole told many people to do. The things that Adams Oshiomhole did to many people, and that's why people are after him to make sure he resigns at all costs.
But this independent voice can be part of that voice.
Now, the independent voice that we have, that we've been asking for change, we've gone to court to seek justice or redress, for us to participate in a process that we are seeking for redress, and we are challenging that It is illegal, it is unconstitutional, it is even so biased, and it's like highway robbery. That how do we now participate in that process? If I participate in that process, then I've accepted. Like, for instance, people have asked me to join Sanwo-Olu campaign group. Now, I know people in Sanwo-Olu. I know the deputy. I love the deputy, Amzat. I think he's a credible individual. But now, how do I support such people that became out of through a process that is so wrong, a process that could be defined as pure highway robbery, daylight robbery, because what they did, what had happened is unbelievable. And up till now, we never had any primary in Lagos because there was no primary. There was none. You know that? Because there was no primary. The primary that was supposed to hold, that was suspended, because the umpire said, we have not even started. I don't know who is counting any votes. We have not started. We're going to start, we'll let you know. They were summoned to Abuja, and the next thing they did was to announce the result of APC leadership primaries, which they conducted themselves. Participants, an aspirant, conducted primaries for himself and declared himself the winner. And the umpires announced, made that declaration and said, yes, it is true. Now tell me, are we not back in the military era?
So,
Because if my party of change can do that, we are back to the boot.
But if you as members,
yes,
aggrieved members, but still members of the Party of Change can feel this way, what do you say to the hundreds of thousands of people who have not collected their PVC, who are not interested in the process, who are feeling apathetic? If you in the system feel this way, how would you encourage others to participate in the process?
well, I'll say I practice what I preach. It's a choice. I am telling them my mind. I'm an insider. I am not going to participate. I'm not going to put my stamp for this process, because this process is going to produce the same of the same. And I think it's far, Nigeria should be getting ready for worse times. I am telling you, this is a prediction, and I can tell you, Nigerians should get ready. And I think one of the things we need to do is, maybe, I'm not going to encourage it, like Nigerians need to show the leadership or across board that they are not happy. And we want to show the leadership that our say matters. One of the ways they can do it today is not by going to say, let us vote, because that process has already been sealed. Who would win, who would become the leader tomorrow would not be of interest to you. It's very clear. What you can do today is to show them that you know that none of you are coming of interest for me. So I'm going to find your own political party leaders, let them go and vote for you. Sit down at home and watch the process and start planning now with that statement, with that withdrawal, from abstinence, and start saying, I am so angry, I'm looking for a way out. Because what you will call an alternative is not there. Whether it is my friend, the Showarez, whether it's the Drutoyes, they are not yet ready. I would say that.
What do they need to do to be ready?
Oh, no, you have to be able to get a majority, a sizable number of Nigerians to believe in what you want to do. And what you want to do will affect their lives.
So let me
and
just
we
take
are
you
looking
back
for that leadership that can cut across and really tell Nigerians that I am here as a servant leader. I can't find that yet.
All right. So you've made some strong assertions. The one thing that is concerning here, there doesn't sound like there's an opportunity for reconciliation in the conversations you're having. You feel that it looks like there's that you've crossed the threshold where reconciliation could be part of that conversation.
Oh, no.
Is that possible?
They were never ready or interested in reconciliation. As a matter of fact, they were telling us to leave the party if we want, that we were going to win without you. That is how bad and how much they believe that they will win regardless of what you do. You see, there are certain people in Nigeria today who have perfected these processes. They've perfected it.
The processes of what?
Electioneering. And they've told Nigerians,
When you say electioneering, what does that mean? Does that mean election rigging? What does that mean?
Oh, the whole process.
Clarify electioneering.
Oh, the process. I will clarify the processes.
Yes.
The processes. One, the processes were the congresses. We saw the fallouts. The other processes, the primaries in choosing candidates. We saw the fallout. The fallout is still ongoing.
Yes.
And the next process is actually the election itself. All of those processes, they've perfected it.
And when you say they've perfected it, they've
perfected to the point where they know they will decide who you will vote for.
So our mandate has been hijacked.
It has been hijacked.
Okay.
And they know, this next thing they know is they know the population of the lower struggling Nigerian, lower class struggling Nigerians.
Let's talk about the they. Let's talk about the they. Who are the they?
Of course, members of the ruling party and members of the political parties that are at the center. They've always, I mean, when you say the ruling party, you know, of course, you have different parties. We have two major parties in Nigeria. The PDP
so they are the day.
and the APC. Yeah, they are the day. They are the day. As much as, like I said, I have people across all political parties. It has gotten to the point that Nigerians, what I'm saying, I'm telling you, this is the conscience, this is the mind, this is the little research I have done on my own.
I think you've done a lot of research.
No. On a personal note, and as people are so disenfranchised, they are so. I have people who have told me, who fought me in 2015, personally fought me, that Buhari is the answer, that APC is the answer to Nigeria. Nigeria is forever going to be great. And I said, are you sure that you are so optimistic about this? If you meet these same people, if you meet them now, and you said, how about the change? They rather not even reply you or answer you, because they are so angry. Now, if they remembered the role they partook in bringing about that change, then their conscience will make them speak out. And what they will tell you is, I regretted every role I partook in 2015.
Yes, Mr. Aka-Bashorun, you don't... Okay, we have APC, PDP, and other.
Yes.
You don't give a lot of credence to the other parties, the other contestants.
Oh,
so what is the solution? Are we...
I do. It's just that the solution is not from them. They are seeing this, they are waiting for crisis to happen. And then they will be at the receiving end when everybody says, oh, you know, let me give you this thinking. There's this, oh, Agbala Jobi, Otedola. People love that. That, oh, we're going to sit around and, oh, you see all of a sudden, people will be hungry and they will show their anger. No, it doesn't work like that. Nigerians will not be angry enough to show their anger. They will never be, because they have not been conditioned to think in that way. They have been conditioned by the master leaders that when election time comes, you get extra pay in your pocket. You have extra dirika rices and chickens to fry in your house. And yes, and it's an opportunity to know your honorable members. So throughout the year, when any holiday season, whether it is Christmas, you get your rice, whether it is Ileya or fasting, you get all of those goodies they give out. If they are doing empowerment, they're giving Okada and Marwa. All the Okada you see in Nigeria were never bought by the Okada riders. All the Marwa you see in Nigeria, I can tell you today, 80 to 90% were bought with the money of politicians, from politicians that donated it. And that money came from Nigeria. To impoverish Nigerians.
In a roundabout way.
Yes, they are Nigerian money, they will take it and now use it again to impoverish them by buying them Okada and Marwa.
So let's ask you this question, just to see if there are any other options. The Faudoki group,
yes,
to which you belong to, that's
yes,
part of
I'm
this
vice chairman,
faction.
Yes.
Do you see you partnering with anyone else, with Accord?
We're working,
what is the coalition that you can form? Because I don't think you should abstain.
I will tell you this. As far as my group is concerned, the Faudoki, we are for Buhari Oshibajo.
At the federal level?
At the federal level. We've made that very clear. That, okay, we're members of the APC. There are members who want. I'll say this.
I have to say you're very confusing.
No.
You have said that. Let me say.
No. I know exactly.
Okay, explain.
I know exactly what I'm saying.
APC has not delivered, but you're saying you're for.
I'm speaking on
Buhari
behalf of the
Osinbajo.
group. I'm speaking on behalf of the group. There was a decision that was made.
Okay.
That group decided that we're going to abstain from participating in Lagos.
Okay.
As far as Lagos is concerned, we're interested only in Buhari or
So you're not going to participate in Lagos?
As far as Lagos election.
Are you guys also? Are you participating
Senate.
in other states?
In other states, no.
You support, okay.
We're only supporting the president, Buhari or Osinbajo, period.
Okay. No, that's good. Thank you for clarifying.
Now, as far as that is concerned, Buhari or Osinbajo, individually, anybody can decide what they want to do. I have decided individually to sit down at home and watch.
At the federal level as well?
Even for me personally.
But your group has decided to do...
So I'm making that clear. But Segun Aka-Bashorun is going to sit at home and abstain from this process because I am not happy at all.
Mr.
And I'm not
Aka-Bashorun.
going to lend my vote or my time to what I don't have faith in.
So why are you part of this group?
Oh, well, I have to be, because being part of the group is fighting the system to change from within.
You sound like a very reluctant politician.
Yeah, well, now I'm going to go further. Now, the issue of other political parties, people have been given the leeway that it's a choice people have. If you want to leave the party, you can leave the party because we can see the way the party have treated you. The party really is telling you go to hell, you can go to bits. So that's a personal choice for you to make. If you decide you want to go to the party, we'll send you off with prayers that we wish you well. It is understandable that I will have done the same thing, but I have chosen to stay and watch the Maccabee dance because that is what is happening today. It's nothing else. That's my belief. So I'm just using this opportunity to make this prediction, and I'm telling you, tomorrow, what I've said will be repeated. Nigerians are not happy. There is nothing good coming in this election. We're only going to pray to God that it doesn't disintegrate us more, because that is what this process is taking us towards. It's not bringing us towards integration. So people are looking for ways Nigerians can be integrated across, beyond the differences we share. So we have issues in Nigeria, for instance. If you ask me, what would I be passionate about? I will be passionate about talking about a hate-free Nigeria. I would like for us in this new year, the first day of the year, to participate in saying that I want to be hate-free in the year 2019. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about where you come from, what tongue or language you speak, what gender, but I'm interested. How can I have a hate-free environment? There's too much hate in our environment, and it's getting heated up. And that is what is majorly of my concern. Because I see what else is happening as fueling. There's a fueling, putting petrol into fire in Nigeria. That is what is happening, and I'm so afraid. And I think we have to start thinking outside of the box. People will have to start looking beyond the political people who are deciding, because either of the two, well, it's not going to bring changes. But what can bring changes is discussing these things. How can we all sit together and be integrated? And that is what Africa can give the rest of the world. The rest of the world has given us all the technological advancement. It has not advanced how human beings can be better integrated. No machinery can do that. This is what we Africans.
Well, maybe we'll all be replaced by robots. Go ahead.
Do you have any sort of practical roadmap for bringing this integration?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Can we discuss that?
Oh, yeah. Well, we can discuss that, but we'll not have enough time today to do that. But I'll give you snippets. There needs to be a movement in Nigeria. And the kind of movement we need, like I said, have to be beyond those differences we share. We have to find a commonality and form a movement. So people will be coming in on the basis of that only. Nobody will have to tell you nobody will have to tell you the differences they share. You never have to discuss it.
So you're for saying instance, an ideological...
Yes, for instance, we need to bring orderliness in Nigeria. Not only in Nigeria, in our children, in our schools, in our places of worship. Cleanliness. Those are simple virtues that we can start a movement on. That all parenting Because you find mechanics, roadside sellers of boilie and all these things, they have children. They probably have more children than us. Who is training them? What standard are they growing up? What thinking? So we have to bring this universality into our system that cuts across all gender classes of people, that can bring us together. Because we used to have that when I was growing up. I went to Baptist Academy. The children of the rich and the poor were all together. We didn't know the differences until we left school. When we left school, we now know, oh, he lives in Ikoyi, we live in Sule, we live in Ipa, you know. We didn't see those differences. And that is what is missing today. That is why we have all these court boys who believe they should maim and kill and do ritual to make money. It is crazy. We've lost sight of what is important. So we don't have a clean environment. Our children are not clean in everything they do. They are not orderly. They want to jump corners. They want to be rich overnight because that culture is missing.
I know that there's an opportunity here to talk about sort of a bit of this, your grand plan, which we probably have to bring you back again to talk about that integration. But I want to come back to Lagos State. So you're sitting out the Lagos process.
Absolutely.
You're participating in a federal process as part of a group. As part of the group. When I talk about the state process, are you particularly upset with the way Governor Akinwumi Ambode was treated? Are you upset with it was the process? What about Lagos State has turned you off, especially regarding the primaries?
Thank you. What has turned me off in Lagos State is that one individual believes by being the overlord, he's the greatest man on earth. He's not.
You've been very liberal about mentioning names. Don't stop now.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Absolutely. You know, I know him so well. I'm so close. I could walk and do the same thing those guys are doing. I have never collected a contract in Nigeria before, in government. I was vice chairman. You know, my records are so clean. I've never been to his house to ask for contracts. None of my family, you know.
Let's talk about Lagos.
I'm talking about Lagos now. The problem I have with Lagos, with the leadership that I see, is they are bringing the mediocres to lead us.
But you like Sanwo-Olu, you like
Hamzat is not a mediocre.
So yes, you've said that these people aren't. So since the process, sometimes the process might not be perfect, but the process has brought two people that you seem to respect. Why not participate?
The processes by which, you see, what we are fighting for is fairness. When you have fairness and you allow participation, larger participation, when you have a system that allows larger participation, the people that are going to be chosen by that process will be loyal to the people that are choosing them. You see, what is missing here is that the Sanwo-Olu and Hamzat will never be loyal to Lagosians. Never will they be there, firstly, for the interest of Lagosians. It is not possible.
Who are they
because
there for?
Lagosians never chose them. They were unpicked and presented to Lagosians. So it's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of that this is what I think is best for you. And as far as we have people, an individual that says, I know what is best. You know, when I was studying political science, one of the ideological issues was representative. How should the representative decide for those they represent, or should the representative literally follow the directives of those they represent? That is, it is the people they represent that dictates the decision-making process, not the representative that says, I know better than the people, so I should decide for the people. That is what we're having in Nigeria today. Our representative believe that they are the master leader, they are smarter, and they ought to choose, and we ought to be grateful for them in choosing, for them to choose on our behalf. So when we have a process like which our so-called national leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has created, that he is the only one with the wisdom to choose the person that is best for Lagosians, that Lagosians should never learn how to choose for themselves. In the eventuality, when he's no longer around, are we not in greater problem? When Asiwaju is no longer around, where do we go to? We start looking for another Asiwaju? So we will not be able to move forward because we've never been trained to know how to fish. We've been trained and spoon-fed. It will take us another 20 years to get out of it if we lose Ebola Tinubu tomorrow.
So this is why you have
be
instituted
chaos.
this legal action. You're
Yes.
trying to upend this system.
God will bless you.
Amen. So in your ideal scenario, what would that look like?
Now, the best way is to force him to start making changes. Let's fight him legally. We're not telling him, oh, you're not a leader. No, no. We're going to fight you systematically. And we'll tell you consistently, this is not fair, this is not right, this is not legal. And we will challenge you. Yeah, you may win us in court with all your resources, but we'll make the point known to you. And we'll give that basis for people in the future to follow. We'll give a trail that people have tried it in the past. They almost succeeded, but we can follow up. Let's learn from their mistakes and make this challenge again. So we want to give people hope that we should not give up, that there's no hope again. Because I'll tell you, if the story is true that Dr. Bashorun passed away a couple of days ago, may so rest in peace. But these are the likes of the many people who fought for democracy. And they are dying, knowing that their dream of seeing a better Nigeria, they are dying with pain. Just like my father died with pain and saw that Nigeria, he only advised, when you guys were calling, there are many times I was so reluctant to talk on TV because I'm tired that what we say is just bouncing off. We've tried, so you start getting tired. And that is the intention.
You can get tired.
No, we can't. That is the intention of the master leaders. They want us, when they squeeze you, you get so tired, you give up and you go back. But the only way we can win systematically is challenging through the umpires, the court systems. And that's what we are doing. So we are open. We know we have very strong legal case, and we are open, we'll be able to upturn the complete system. And people say, oh, this will affect your party. No, it will affect Nigeria even greater. My party can suffer a little, it's okay. If my party loses Lagos State, it's not a big deal because of a lawsuit. And the law says, the court says, oh, Lagos State, APC, you never had primaries. You're out of it. It's okay. My party can suffer a little bit. But let Nigerians gain a little bit too. That is what I'm fighting for.
Got it.
Can I present an idea to you?
Wonderful.
Your father fought for democracy. You fought for democracy. What distinguishes a military, so did my dad, what distinguishes a military regime from a democratic government is the legislature. You cannot, as a pro-democracy person, sit out the elections for that important arm of government, because the military will always have executive. Military will always have judiciary. It's our legislatures. So I would like you to reconsider.
I will.
That it's really important that we vote for our House of Reps and our Senate.
I agree. But I want people to see that this Segun Aka-Bashorun, it seems like I would be justified after the election sitting out. Because
I can't get over the sitting out thing. I'm sorry.
No. It's a personal decision.
All you did for democracy.
I am not. You see, it's better for us to start. How shall I say? When you have to overhaul, it has to be radical.
How about just choose the devil or the deep blue sea? There's never going to be an ideal candidate or an ideal situation.
No, you see, that's the problem. Thank you. You know another thing politicians tell you? They'll tell you that, oh, if you're going to eat with the devil, you should use a long spoon. There's nothing like that. It's a lie. There is no eating with the devil, because the devil is not a fool. A long spoon will never stop the devil using a long spoon to eat with the devil will never give you the opportunity to escape what the devil's wrought.
Okay, let me use another analogy.
So your mama will tell you.
I'll use another analogy, not devil and deep blue sea. I'll use a rock and a hard place. Choose between the rock and the hard place, rather than stay out of it. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm on the hard place because I'm still fighting the process. I'm fighting for the legal, or should I say, I'm in court to fight for what is right or what ought to be. Me not participating in the process, it's actually not true. I'm participating in the process because I'm in court to sanitize the process. So it would be contradictory for me to now say that I'm challenging this process in court, and I'm one of the people that will say, oh, come on, let's go and vote for my party, the APC.
You don't have to do that, but you can participate.
You can. Don't impose an injunction.
You don't have to. Yes. You don't have to.
I'm doing that on a protest, as a personal protest to me.
So, all right. So you're doing this as a personal protest. There are other people in the party that are looking up to you. There are people that, I mean, you have your own base of support as well. Leading up to 2019 is here. APC sounds to be in a lot of discord going on.
Oh, serious one.
There's a lot of different factions and different arms. There doesn't seem to be reconciliation that's going to happen.
It's not going to be possible.
What is the plan? What do you believe their plan is for 2019? How are they going to patch this up to the finish line?
I told you much earlier. Their belief is if you don't like what you're doing, you can leave the party. And they're going to look at you straight in the eye and say, yes, you can leave. We have already perfected. We know we will win. That is the attitude. We have begged. We have told them that this will have issues. That remember, in 2015, Ambode won Agbaje with a slight amount of. It was so close that you cannot afford to have division in your party.
Do you believe that APC is at risk of losing the governorship?
Oh, absolutely. Much at risk. You know, I'll tell you this. In Yoruba, they'll say that it is when death is close, your skin will be shining as if you're so beautiful. Today, APC is acting as if you see them, they're the only one waxing. You see, it's the only APC posters you see. It's as if nobody else exists. They feel like they are home free. I want to tell them to be very careful. They have pitfall in front. This is when to expect. I sense, and that's why I want to take a back seat. I don't want anybody to say that, oh, these are the Aka-Bashoruns, these are the Fuadokis. Let by their own hand. Because if you see what is happening at the national level, it's not of our making. We in Lagos were not involved. All the evidences of videos of bribery by the national chairman, that it has to be questioned and drilled by the DSS, and it has to be given bail, all those kind of things, it's unprecedented for a ruling party. We were not part of it, but other states came out and said, this national chairman is this national chairman is that. So it shows the consistency of this behavior across board. So how is this going to save Nigeria when we cannot even get our own at home right, and we want to be the one to lead the nation? I'm not going to fool myself. I don't play that kind of game.
But you're still going to
I'm going to be. I want
the national ticket.
Well. Personally, I'm not going to vote.
Okay. So your group is supporting the national ticket.
My group is
but you're
supporting.
Not going to vote.
I am not.
So you're not going to vote national. You're not going to vote.
President Buhari and Vice President Osinbajo have not given me any reasons.
So they cannot count on your vote.
To end my vote. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's
the only right I have. It's bigger than $1 billion naira. So let me be proud how I use it. And I'll tell anybody in the world, you have to beg me to get my vote. If you don't need it, fine. You don't need my vote, so just walk away. But that right, I will go home and enjoy it.
So once again, you're not going to vote. You've said that multiple times during this interview. You're a member of a party.
Yes.
You're also a member. You're in court, but you're also a member of a community and a society that people look up to you because of who you are and your credentials along this road to democracy. People that are now watching at home saying, these are people that have fought for democracy. He is not going to participate in this vote. What do you want to say to them? Do you have an apology to them? Do you feel like you're failing them? What do you
I want to say to them,
out there?
we need to go back to the drawing board. I am going back to the drawing board. If you want to join me, it is fine. But what we ought to do is to go back to the drawing board. This is propelling the wheel that is already damaged. It's taking us straight to the deep sea, to the deep blue sea. So let us go back to the drawing board. I have decided, that is my own resolve, that we need to start planning the future now.
So does that mean no 2019 elections?
As far as, you see, when you start thinking that it's election that you have to prepare for, then we're going to be in trouble.
It's not the elections, next 4 years.
Well, let's start planning what should happen in the next 4 years. Let's organize.
It's too late. We're at the finish line.
That is what, well, you see, it's nothing is ever. See, the reason why it's too late is that we did not think about this and start now. That's why I'm thinking now. I'm being proactive, that I'm not worried about 2019. Heavens will fall, fine, let it happen. I'm thinking of 2023. How do we start organizing now?
All right. Well, I know this
what
is not the
matters.
end of
So-
this
so, I mean,
conversation.
yes.
I know we're going to have you back, and I guess we'll have to wait for 2023.
I'll be flattered, yes, to come back.
But if you do change your mind in between and you decide to
I'm not changing
participate, we would hope that you would come and have a conversation with us about that.
Maybe they give me money to come and support this. That will never happen. Because the money will not make me happier.
There's still a long time between now and March. There's a lot that can happen. I mean, we're very serious about this. If you do change your mind and you do decide to participate, please come back and talk to us about why and what that means. We wish you all the best. We hope that you do continue to be a voice for change in your organization and in your party. Thank you once again for being here.
Thank you so
for having me.
much.
It's a pleasure.
It's time now for a break. When we come back, Arise News analyst and producer Charles Owakoa will be here to do newspaper review and talk about the headlines making the news across the country. Stay with us.